Okay, so this is part 2 of our special test videos.
Can you give me a sheet so I can read it off to you?
Yeah.
Actually, I have it here. So, Taylor tilt.
Okay, so for this one we have an inversion and eversion. So I'm going to have him lay on his left side just so that it's easier to see. So for the...
Do the feet first.
You don't want him on top of each other.
Yes.
So you're going to want his knee to be slightly flexed so that his gastroc is relaxed. And then, yeah. So this one is for inversion. So I'm just going to literally just put his foot and ankle into inversion. Like that. And then for eversion is pretty much the same, just because I have him already in this position, I'm just going to do his left leg. So this one, I'm literally, his gastroc is relaxed. Just put him into eversion. Isn't a positive test where there's just so much laxity and it's like excessive?
Yeah, so this is a ligamentous one, so we're looking at excess inversion. This is testing for ligamentous damage. And what we talked about in class, so when we're doing inversion in a neutral position, if you really wanted to tease out the ligaments, which ligament is neutral for inversion? Yeah, and then if you slightly plantar flex, which two ligaments?
Plantar flex is going to be your ATF and your perpendicular.
No, eversion.
Dorsiflexion.
It's just the delta ligament. Yeah. That's how it is. But. All right, squeeze test.
So the squeeze test, I believe is a fracture. Yeah. So you're pretty much just gonna take your hands and you're gonna squeeze together the tibia and fibula. So I'll do it in the middle, go up to the top, and then come right pretty much at the muscle belly, squeeze. A positive for that would be pain at a specific point.
So it can detect a fracture. You could use this for a fracture, but there's actually something else that it's used for specifically. So when you're squeezing the tibia and fibula together, what is spreading?
Interosseous membrane.
Mm-hmm. But what else if you're having pain right here?
Just above your talons.
Mm-hmm. So that's your tibia and fibula. It's where they come together. What's that joint called? Sounds like tortoise.
Tortoise?
It's not the tortoise joint. It's
the mortise joint.
Mm-hmm. So when you're squeezing, it's probably like right around here. It's spread.
Next is the compression test, which is literally the same thing but at the malleoli.
Before you move on, what's that pathology called? For the squeeze test.
Oh jeez.
So interosseous membranes potentially damaged. You're squeezing together.
Syndesmosis.
Yep, syndesmotic ankle sprain. All right. Compression test.
Compression test is you're doing the same thing, except for this time you're going to do it at the lateral malleolus and the medial malleolus. So you're just pushing them together.
And this indicates a fracture.
A fracture.
Yeah. Kleigers.
Okay. So I'm going to have you short sit. So, if I stand over there, you're not gonna be able to see it.
You could do it on this ankle because you'll get the job done.
Okay. So you're gonna stabilize at the lateral knee, and then I'm going to dorsiflex him and then evert him. So a positive for this would be if there's any pain on the external rotation aspect of this, or if it's just lax, so it just keeps going.
What is this looking for? So with eversion, what are you stretching?
An eversion
Mm-hmm.
would be your deltoid ligament.
That's right. And there's
This one also can be a symptomatic or syndesmosis injury.
So there's another pathology that's detect. Thompson test.
Thompson test, I'm gonna have you prone.
Don't mess this up.
If I mess this one up, there's something wrong.
Then drop out. You're fine.
I'm gonna do it on this side, or no. I'm gonna just kind of reach over and do it on this side. So for me, I have smaller hands than he does, so he would use one hand. If I use two hands, you're gonna squeeze at the gastroc, and you're just gonna watch for plantar flexion. If you have big enough hands, you can squeeze and just put your hand here so you can feel the plantar flexion. You can see it in the video as well. If there is no plantar flexion, this is an automatic positive, and it typically leads to an Achilles tendon rupture.
Figure 8.
So a figure 8 measurement is literally just measuring for swelling.
I didn't want to sit for this too. I didn't want to sit. With like my ankle hanging off.
Yeah. So just pretty much do like a figure 8 as if you were taping an ankle. So I'm gonna start here, go around just above the malleol line. Make sure you're crossing the 0. Come down to like the base of the first, I believe.
Yeah.
Around the foot. Come back up. This one's at about 62.
I think with this, like, there's a level of play you can have with the tape measure as long as you cross the 0. I don't think it really matters. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't want to just start measuring up here.
Right. This one you would test bilaterally, and pretty much, I think it's, what's the measurement? Is it I was going to say, okay. So if there's a 2 centimeter difference in the two ankles, then it would be a positive.
This is a test that we use for more or less progression purposes of a rehab, because you don't really, there's no benefit to using this in any other clinical setting. You can see swelling, you can palpate swelling. Right? The diameter of the swelling doesn't matter as much as the fact that there is swelling.
Next is the perineal tendon subluxation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be laid prone. Actually, put this one down. It's just easier for me to do it this way so I can see. So in this one, we're pretty much just going to look for swelling, and then you're going to have them actively you're going to actively plantar flex and dorsal flex, but then you're also going to evert against my resistance. Okay, plantar flex and dorsal flex, please.
You have to do that while.
Yeah. Well, I told you to do it and you didn't do it.
You didn't resist me.
Okay.
The resistance.
This one, what's it called? This one you would feel the tendon flipping. Okay. And then what's next?
Next we have Hoffa's sign.
This one's also prone. This one you're just palpating the difference between the Achilles tendons, trying to see if one is more taut than the other. Because they're pretty similar. This one's a little thicker, but tightness-wise, they're the same. Okay, yeah. And then, can you go supine, please?
Yeah, for
To the side.
our second year friend Maddie is coming in, so she will join us.
Continue.
To no sign.
To the side. So I'm going to, I can't think today. I'm pretty much gonna tap. No. Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
okay.
gonna-
Yeah, that's one of the areas. I'm being
Yeah.
a dummy. Yeah.
So you're gonna tap behind.
It's bad medial.
Or behind the medial malleoli. And yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the medial?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one up here you can tap. That's, I think,
That's also part
just
of the
the
tap test.
anterior. Well, this is more for nerve impingement.
So you take your two fingers and just
Mm-hmm.
so positive for this would be if there's painful tingling, if there's any paresthesia.
If you wanted to give this one pathology to go along with, what would you give it? It helps, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in your wrist, if the stuff's getting caught and impinged, what do you call that? All right, so runs right here.
Yeah.
Things are getting trapped under the bone, getting paresthesia. What do you call that? It's in your wrist, right? Tunnel. Mm-hmm. So
You gotta remember you took all the classes and I have none of those classes.
but
Therefore,
we got the pathologies. It even
Yes.
said on the PowerPoint that you get a positive Tunnel sign.
well, our classes all jumbled. So I
All right, Duchenne's or Duchenne's or Duchenne's. I don't know. Who cares? Say it however you want.
I'm looking, I don't care. Oh. This one is supine, and I'm just gonna. Yeah, right?
So
This one is just the first metatarsal. I'm pushing up on it
you have
into
to
dorsiflexion.
push up on the first metatarsal, and then you let it go. And a positive sign for that is if I'm up here, where nothing happens, or if I just stay there.
So I push you into dorsiflexion. You have to plantar flex against me. I don't just let go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, so then the positive sign is going to be
If you can't.
if I can't, or only half of my foot goes.
And then.
We got one more.
This one, you're supine.
Coleman sign.
Yeah. your supine,
Mm-hmm.
your knee is extended. And then I'm putting you into dorsiflexion. Yeah. Or that's plantar flexion. I'm putting you into dorsiflexion. And then a positive would be pain in the calf, and that would be for a DVT.
Very specific pain. Right there. That's part 2.